Hey everybody, it's Deluxekoff. Make sure everything's looking okay with you because I'm hearing double and I'm not seeing much on Twitch. I know they had some new update, so give me a quick yes or no in the chat there. Let me know what's going down before I get anything started here, otherwise I might have to re-roll this. Anyone? Double check here. Yeah, I'm seeing live. But nothing's going up. Anyone there? Oh, it's all good? That's strange. I'm getting this black screen here. But we're all good? Sorry for this slow start here, guys. Anyway, today we're playing Hexproof. Hey, alright, so everything's working because I'm a little thrown for a loop. Twitch has decided to not show me what you guys are seeing, so I'm a little off handle. But as long as you guys can hear me and see me fine, it's all good. Arch and enemy. Okay, so without further ado, I'll jump right in. I told you last week we're probably going to play Hexproof, and we are. We went 3 matches already because I wanted to discuss a lot of stuff regarding Halloween and a new format called Frontier that I just read about. Nope, I can see magic. Okay, great. Am I on or not, guys? Got to be crystal clear. Is everything good? Oh, all right, cool. Everything's working. Thank you, Nichols. All right, so we're waiting for our 4th round to start, and I'll bring up the deck list. It's nothing too new. Sorry for the slow start there, guys. We got 19 lands in this one. I run 2 Crumbling Vestiges and 4 Blossoming Sands. The rest are all forests. Good evening, Shirazaman. And we have our typical Hexproof package. We got the 12 dudes, and I got the 4 Gnarlids, bringing our creature count to 16. Right now, there's a huge lack of mono black control in the Meadowlands. Anyway, and I've kind of lost respect for running into it in a tournament anyway. So I've completely lost the Young Wolf tech. Most good mono black pilots I know of are able to kind of find their way through those anyway. So the only creatures we bring out of the board are the Guild Mages and the Fairy Macabre. We don't cast these obviously, but we can do these. I've discussed these in the past. Real quick, back to the main deck. Yes, you're welcome, Arch and Enemy. We're playing Hexproof. I already played 3 rounds. We're gonna only have 2 live ones because we've got a lot to discuss today. The Ancestral Mask, I only have 2. You could argue we want 3 or even 4 with Drake out there right now because you got to kind of kill him fast, so to speak. And there's been a few times, twice, where I've lost with this, and just like they were at 1 life, and it was like, oh my gosh, 1 more little bit, and I would have been good. But that's all here nor there. Commune with the Gods is awesome because in games 2 and 3 you can shove things like Moment's Peace in your graveyard, and while going to fetch your goods. Our Journey to Nowhere counts 4 total, 2 in the board, 2 in the main, and I'm a huge fan of the Ord Gnarlid. Every time I see this card, you could argue it turns on the removal, but not much removes it. In most cases, it's usually a 5/5 or higher, and against what like we'll see in Elves matchups, in what's the other one, Mirror and Stompy. It's one of these unblockable cards. The other reason I played all 3 rounds again, just like last week. Well, last week was a mistake. This week was on purpose, is because the leagues are ending, and you would think that would make everybody rush to finish them, but the numbers have gone way down because nobody wants to start one right now. So I've been noticing the time between tournaments starting is taking a lot longer than usual. So we are in the queue, waiting for hopefully a victim. And we'll go from there. But yeah, real quickly on Twitch, see, I usually see a live screen right here, and maybe I have to hit play. Maybe that's what's going on with my feed. We'll have to check back in a little bit. Anyway, back to the deck. So the Quasar Pride Mage is kind of my tech. You don't run into COP green very often because Tron's kind of absent from the metagame, but if you do, it's just nice to have access to it. With Journey to Nowhere and Gut Shot and this, we're able to kill every permanent except maybe a land, and that's a good thing. We can interact with the graveyard. I think that's a result of the new payouts. Yeah, it could be. I know there's quite a bit of ramblings about quite a few changes happening, and the new what is it, the new treasure decks or treasure trove or whatever, treasure box that they got there. But anyway, so we're able to really kind of hold the fort down against every deck out there. So Let me just double check. See, it's still not showing up. That's why I'm a little off today, guys. I'm used to being able to see my own feed here, and nothing's showing up. But heck, as long as you're going, we're all set. So yeah, like I said, we're up against it right now with regards to the clock. I'm gonna go and discuss our Halloween stuff real quick. Before I do that, big shout out to Enrique for just he posted a picture, and I'll show it at one of the breaks. He found a merit discount center or something on. I posted it on our Facebook link, but we'll show it here. Ken Waku says MBC is low, edict counts are low, hexproof is a good choice. That's what I was kind of thinking. And it's funny, the few times I play mono black, even without young wolves, I tend to get flooded with creatures, and I feel bad for the NBC pilot. There are the times, obviously, when they have the edict, and it's off the game too. But those tend to be kind of few and far between. So, and there's been a lot of hatred towards Drake not being banned, and I'm one of the very few people out there, and I've said it from the beginning that it's very powerful, and yes, it's bending the metagame, but I really don't mind it because I got kind of tired of seeing those mid-rangey decks that were slow and stuff. It's kind of neat to have this kind of ebb and flow of the format where, hey, it's fast for a few months, and we'll deal with it. So hopefully this goes through. Let me minimize this if Silhana's in the house. Come on, show up. I didn't want to wait 5 minutes to fill this dead air for that to happen. Here we go. Okay, so we are 2-1. We beat elves, we lost to elves, and I think we beat Stompy. My notes flew away because I threw them out. Anyway, the bad sticky. All right, so we got 1-1 and no color fixing. I'm actually going to throw this back. I've noticed in this build, mana is more important than critters as far as hitting it. So everything's kind of a home run. I like this hand. Keep. I'll put that on top. So we're all right. In case we're going against, we don't have really a turn 2 play here. I'm going to come out fast. A lot of times I'll play the come into play tap land first. Just pay your dues. It really depends on what's up. Crimson Rum, hello. Good to have you with us. Pauper, hello, party boy. Everybody's talking in caps. I love you guys. It's great. Uh-oh, we got a mirror. Boy, you prepare for, what is it, you prepare for the metagame and calling all your shots and stuff, and all we've run into is forests. It seems like everybody has the same game plan as I do. Like I said, we beat elves, lost to elves, and I believe it was Stompy we beat too. So we got a nice mirror matchup here. Going to be should have been a St. Patty's Day tournament if we knew any better, right? We don't have much going here. We're going to try to force a trade here. Hopefully he buys it. Good thing about the Aura Gnarlid is that it helps with both. So we get our damage through, we both trade, and I'm able to play the beast of the format, unless he's got a Journey to Nowhere, but it's still going to cost him a turn. Now we're going to be a lot more concerned with slapping our Rancor on the beast so that the game just elevates into that ridiculous position. We have some pretty ridiculous plays to show you guys on rounds 1, 2, and I believe 3. It was just craziness. So we got our little trade food. Hopefully he's running Aura Gnarlid so that our Journey to Nowhere does something. And I'm just going to hope that he doesn't have too much good stuff. Junk Solano from Reddit, Moto Channel on MTGO says, Pauper, little fight, welcome aboard. Yep, that's what I'm reading what you're saying. Hey guys, says, why do I need such a long name? Everybody's in the house. Good to have y'all. And if anybody knows why I can't see my own Twitch feed, please let me know, because that threw me for a loop at the beginning of the show. Apologies for the little hiccups there. So we're just going to play the trade game here. Slow down his mana. He's just got to keep recasting it. Our stuff gets bigger. If we grab pretty much anything, we win the game in this next turn. Let's see what we got. There it is. And we got more trade bait. Never, ever, ever, ever cast your Journey to Nowhere in this position, because you will be forced to nail your own guy. And boy, I see we're one more damage, but I'm very glad that we decided to throw that first hand back. One of the only hiccups this deck has is its mana early on, and a lot of the deck is built towards fixing that. And you got to. This is one of those decks that really, with that new Mulligan rule, which Little Fight's wife didn't believe was a thing. He called me the other day. It was a pretty funny conversation. Had to go through the go through the motions with that. Real quickly, but this is one of those decks that really favors the new Mulligan rule if you do go down and trying to get that mana just right. Really tempted to bring in the Pride Mage just to get rid of. I'm gonna probably opt for the Moment's Peace package though. This is a go for broke. I'm gonna get rid of all my Journey to Nowheres here. If I see a Gnarlid, I might bring it back. And there's not much blocking that I'm planning on doing, so I'm gonna actually lose. I'm thinking of losing one of my Rancors here. The MVPs in this matchup are going to be the Silhana and the Aura Gnarlid. Anytime you're facing forests, you want this and you want this. The other stuff's cannon fodder. And since they're unblockable, Rancor's one of our weaker spells. We've got the Commune to go fetch stuff. It's rough. So yeah, I'm going to take out one Rancor and we'll hope for the best. Dun 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 dun. Yes. Oh, did I say it was elves? I meant we faced elves twice, and almost beat it both times. But we like this hand. We got our mana fixing available in the Abundant Growth. 2 critters to draw attention, and then our big smacker. We'll keep it and see where we go from here. Can't wait to show you guys some of the Halloween builds. As take notes, ask for the lists. We can in the future though. Please remind me when we do that. Somebody, Little Fight Shiraz, somebody. To go over how to export the text-only file formats, because I wasted a lot of time importing stuff and sorting things and doing things that way. So just for future's sake. Anyway, in regards to making the cards bigger. Oh, you guys want them bigger? You got it. Let's see. We'll go like this. I must have been playing. When you mentioned the new Mulligan rule, did you mean the scrying rule? Yes, Arch and Enemy. That's what I meant. It's nothing new to us, but it's there's some decks that just seem to really benefit from it more than others. So I'm going to play a little aggro here and just, we've got our fix, but no real need to do it. Sometimes Hexproof in the mirror can come up a little creature light, and so maybe we can catch them blinking early. I suspect a Silhana in the air right about now. Here she comes. Nope. Oh, does he have it? Oh, okay. So now in this case scenario, we've got our nice little dudes that can just play blockers. So normally this, unless he's got a trample right behind it, it can kind of screw with us. But we're just going to set up some roadblocks here. And this game is, I'm really getting a respect for this game. I've always had fun playing green on green. And what I mean by that is just Hexproof or Elves or Stompy. There's such a, it's like this ebb and flow of an ocean, and you're almost drowning, and you got that one little gasp of air, and then somebody gains just a ton of life. Okay, so Journeys has got to come back in. It's kind of silly, assuming he wasn't playing them, but I think we're probably gonna lose this one. And I'm not a fan of either of these pieces of art, but we'll save ourselves some 4 life there. Now this is interesting. Hopefully there's no trample in his hand, so we're going to take 6, but then we're going to start hitting him back with our Gnarlid. So this is what I'm talking about, that ebb and flow, where you're almost completely out of it. And when I show you games 1 and 2, there's so many. I think there were 3 times when I was down to like 2 or less life, and it was it's just maddening. But Moment's Peace just really means the difference there, and they go for it and they come back, and now the Gnarlids are getting stronger and stronger. Again, see, this is just a speed bump. I mean, the game would be over this turn if I didn't have these guys out just to play blocker with. So, yikes! Boy, are we gonna like our Moment's Peace. Come on, sucker! Oh, hey, I can just block that and kill it. I wonder why he's doing that. He's got no cards in his hand. It's first strike, 6/6. All right, good times. Guess I don't have to kill a creature. Maybe just lacking a little coffee in his gameplay there. He's got no cards in hand. Gotta be careful when you do the math on those. Sometimes when that thing goes down, you can be screwed. Okay, so we cannot block. This is interesting. Gosh, I wish I had one more land, because what's going to happen next turn, I'm going to have to do 3 and 3. But that's not going to matter if I go 3, 3, and 3. I'm just doing the math here on the. So I'm gonna cast the maximum that I can do right now, and then we're just gonna swing, because you cannot block the Gnarlid. And let's see, we're gonna do 9. Yeah, so in that case, Armadillo Cloak might have been greedy. I mean, he could easily top deck Ethereal Armor, Mask, name it. Or maybe he's got his own fogs here. But it's neat, because for him to win, he's got to bring out his only attacker. We're going to fog. And he's going to see it, and it's an interesting game all of a sudden. Yes, Shirazaman, as always, we agree. Moment's Peace is very cool for a lot of Pauper sideboards. Only better card, I think, if your deck allows it, is Prismatic Strands, and it's a very close argumentative race just because, like we've always said, you can completely Wrath of God everybody, so, or a one-sided Wrath of God, I should say. Yeah, well, we'll need it, Nichols. We like misplays on our opponent's parts. I don't get many of them, and it's nice to see it's not me multitasking and screwing up. All right, well, that'll hurt a little bit, but it kind of hurts us both. It's a good thing he did that phase. And I've just never been a fan of this card. It does win one of the games early on that we'll replay in a little bit, but it's just so many superior cards that could do the same thing. So we're going to go here. We've got our Moment's Peace in the yard, and we're just swinging, as Curly Howard would say. And I think we got this one. Again, we got to make him attack, but we've got pretty much a flying Silhana. I mean, she doesn't fly, but it feels like it in green on green matchups. Just good times. Everything gets bigger and stronger. Good times. Shirazaman says, Strands is great. Riot Control is fun too. Riot Control, hey, bring that up in the thing. I don't know that one offhand, and that's a rare thing for that to happen. So it looks like we're going to go 3-1. And then we got one more match after this. Hopefully our opponent doesn't take that long to get back. And I don't think I've ever played this guy before. The Bad Sticky. I don't want to know what that name's all about. Riot Control. Instant. You gain 1 life for each creature opponent controls. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn. 2 and a white. That's interesting. I like some of those new Kaladesh cards. Remember when we were playing Flash Gordon, how we had that new fog that every creature but one does damage. I just love those new kind of fogs, and then it's got that new one where it's like only the creatures take damage, or I forget if it's players or whatnot. So, and you never know, he might have a fog here. Oh, okay. So we win this one 2-0. So it's just been all green all day long, and we will replay when I can relax and focus, and I really like that format. I'm not always going to do 2 or 3. It'll be kind of a mixture of both when I gauge the day, just for the sake of my rear end. I don't like to sit here that long without getting up, and so if I'm playing a faster deck with not much to talk about, probably play sometimes 4 or 3 rounds. But on days like today where we've got a lot to discuss with regards to a new format, we have just a ton of good stuff coming out. So real quickly, I'm gonna roll. I'm standing right by, guys, and we'll just hit a commercial and I'll be right back.
The Marie-Lager. If you are going to drink like a wizard, then you must release the beast. Marit Lager. Crack the ice and release your beast.
Available at all fine Sinclair superstores.
Worm would like to remind you to drink responsibly.
My name is Gideon, and I'm about to die. I was born on a world long since destroyed. Some say I played a hand in its destruction. Less charitable voices say I was the sole cause of its demise. I cared little at the time, as I was blinded by my own self-righteous fury. But then a reckoning came upon me. I found others who could travel between worlds, and whose beliefs conflicted with my own. I was humbled by their power and tempered by their convictions. I resolved to learn from my opponents. I would do better, be better, and fight the very kind of tyrant I had become. For years I stood alone, in countless battles, I won every time. Until now. I've given my all and it wasn't enough. But I have a plan. I've done the one thing my opponent could never do. I've made allies out of enemies.
And we're back. I didn't go anywhere. I just want to give Nichols a little shout out there. He found a very cool thing that we really like to see in propaganda and just out and about. And what was it? Who had the Veridan Company or the Veridan Longbow, something or other the other day. And then now he found the Merit Building. So it's all good times. It'll be neat to see. Maybe somebody can come up with some app that you can, in the future, you can find all kinds of magic-related places and go on some silly road trip and totally geek out. Anyway, I wanted to bring up, while we're waiting for our opponent to show up, on Pure MTGO, they have, their state of the program is often up. And what's really cool is they're having guest hosts, so it's not just a copy-paste article. No offense to 1 Million Words, who's done it for so long, but he kind of needed a break. And so they have these guest people coming in and doing it. But whoever did it this week got really lucky because they had a lot to talk about. I think his name is Christopher. But anyway, there's a new format. I'm just going to read it to you so you guys don't have to squint. It says, a brand new format introducing Frontier. Japanese gaming stores Hayuruda and Big Magic have teamed up to promote a new unofficial format named Frontier. The goal is to create a format that doesn't suffer from the unique price issues of Modern or Standard. Sound familiar? The format will be non-rotating, sound familiar? Starting with Magic 2015 to the present. So from what I can gather, this is Pauper Big Daddy. You can use your rares, stuff like that. To support this endeavor, the stores are throwing a free-to-enter tournament on October 30th with absurd prize support. First place will receive 10 booster boxes, one of each currently legal playset, and the hefty haul with admission costs costing nothing. As for the format itself, some players are very excited by the prospect, while others are concerned that the format faces a myriad of balance issues, which will be covered. I mean, that's what I was just talking about with Drake. I don't see... Yeah, thanks again, Nichols. He says, no problem. When you see it, snap a picture, send it to us, propaganda@gmail.com, and we will pimp it out and show you off and stuff. Anyway, with Drake, and I was saying right before the match started, let's see, what is our time coming up on here? 4 minutes. This is ridiculous. Anyway, I just don't see it as a bad thing. Back when Empty the Warrens, and then there was a Temporal Fissure before that, and then Cloud of Fairies, and I kind of like it because you get this... You have a bully on the block, but you can aim at it. And as noted with our Macabres in the sideboard here, it's I've argued in a lot of forums and stuff. I've hopefully shown that here. We've lost maybe twice to Drake and won a lot more times to it, just by being prepared. I mean, you've got to be able to deal with permanents, and you got to be able to deal with the graveyard. And I don't think it's that outrageous of a card to bring in a Fairy Macabre, because there's so many other cards, whether it be Tortured Existence and whatnot, that can give and go, ebb and flow, all that stuff. Anyway, I'm going to go through our Halloween decks. And so everybody take out a little piece of paper. First up is Enrique. I'm not quite sure what his username is, but we're going to go through these. Some of them are dripping with flavor. Some of them are more meant towards like actually trying to place even or better and such. But again, our requirements, I believe, were for zombies, for skeletons, for imps, for swamps, and for what am I telling you? Horrors. Yes. What would Halloween be without horror, right? All the good horror films. Yes, Nichols says a modern reboot, right? It seems about like that, almost like a easy to enter extended almost from the way back. Yeah, Overextended says, why do I need such a long name? That's a good one. So anyway, up first, Enrique, if you're out there, say that's me in the board so we can figure out what your handle is. This one I wanted to showcase first because it is just dripping with Halloween flavor. And we're going to, let me just make sure there's no hiccups here. We're at 6 minutes. Boy, am I glad I decided to do other stuff. Anyway, so we're going to go into the deck list here. And he runs 20 lands. We got 2 bogs, all the rest swamps. He's got Virulent Wound, Tainted Strike, Sanitarium Skeleton. We got the skeleton in full order of 4 here. Horrifying Revelation. Target player discards a card and puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. Got all 4 of those. Got all 4 Duress. Really heavy, nice discard element here. Bump in the Night. It's a little unsynergistic with the deck, but sure adds to the flavor. I mean, this is like a what's the guy's name that John Carpenter Magic deck. It's just the guy that made the original Halloween and a lot of the classics. So we got the Vault Scourge filling the Imp requirement. Or wait, what were did I say Imp? I think I did say Imp. Yeah, Plague Stinger steals the Horror spot, which I really like because this is similar to what I did. Yes, I did enter my own contest since we're not offering any prizes up. I figured if I'm going to put my money up in a tournament and play this darn thing, it better be able to beat mine. So, yeah, Nichols, it says it's a pretty cool flavored deck. I think so, too. We got the Ravenous Rats to pick up the scraps after the horror people have fallen into the traps. Sorry, just trying to do a little free verse there. Distress, because who doesn't feel distressed when they start seeing things in the night and stuff like that? Arch Enemy, can't stand horror movies. Okay, well, we'll come back to this because we're going to try to play our last round here. He says, I can't stand horror movies. They're way too scary or gross. That's right. Let's see. I was raised on them, so I'm all good with them. Ooh, this is tough. We've got 8 enchantments that can trigger this, and we've got 2 creatures. I'm gonna keep this. We got a 1, we got a 2, and then maybe a 3/4 play. So I think we're okay here. I just ran into another female arch enemy that had to. She can't watch horror movies either, and I don't know if it's a male thing, female thing. Of course, I've got a stepsister that just loves horror movies, and so definitely not that. I guess it's just what you like, but you might not want to tune in much of October because we're going to be going all out in the horror there. Professor Dan, thanks for joining us. He says Fairy Macabre is legit. The best is when you can discard it in response to Exhume on the stack. Indeed. I don't know what we're playing here, but thanks for joining us. And we're going to, this is the last round. We played 5 total. 3 were pre-recorded, and we will revisit those so I can have a little bit more relaxed pace with not trying to multitask everything so much. So this is good times. Let's not see a daze. I think we're probably, Ponder's not very Delver friendly. It's probably a Angler Delver or something like that. Oh, this kind of hurts, guys. So we're looking for one of 8 of our ways to grab white, and we didn't hit it. So seriously, like last game, I threw that hand back that looked kind of like this one. Should have done it again. We're gonna take the Superior Critter here in the Ledge Walker, and we'll just keep moving here. Don't like that we have to reveal those cards, but we shall see. Maybe our creature count will keep some edicts away. We'll see what drops next. If it's a mountain or a swamp, do we have anybody in the peanut gallery who wants to chime in? What do we got? Drum roll. Oh, it's an island. Never mind. Exodus and David, welcome aboard too, says Little Fight, and thank you for catching that, my brother in arms. Like I said, playing, podcasting, twitching, setting up commercials, narrating. It's amazing that I can pull off a win doing this way, but okay, so let's walk into a counter spell. Which one do we want to have countered? Against blue, I don't really mind the Sohana. Sometimes, though, it's just that party that doesn't want to give it to him, but we'll see. So what I like to do here is I'm gonna tap 1, think about it, unless he's watching Twitch or he's one of you guys, then I feel like a jackass. I'll untap. Oops. Wait, no. Got too many damn hotkeys here. Then I'll think, and I'll go 1, 2... No. Give it about 3 Mississippi. And we'll go all 3, and we'll say, we'll bait this like, hey, man, I don't care about this one. Got 1 floating. What you got? So maybe he's like, oh, he's holding the Rancor. And if he had counterspell, I wish I could know his hand because maybe that worked. Sometimes they get uncounter happy, And that's what I was sensing there, that kind of sit back and wait, and we just pay more for it, and he thinks he's going to counter the good spell. Nope. Gotcha. Uh-oh, maybe this is Delver, which isn't that good of a matchup. Now this does absolutely nothing for us. We're kind of drawing dead here. I'm going to swing. I don't want to walk into a... our Silhanas don't have much value in this matchup. I don't really want to turn on any of his snap goodness, so I'm going to drop another Silhana. Go from there. Just kind of, if we're able to pull this off, maybe he taps out for Spire Golem here. I kind of want that in the back of his mind, like, I got to get rid of my bounce, and because our big finisher is the Gnarlet a lot of times, but I do tend to take out one or two of them depending on the list. But when I broadcast live, a lot of times I don't do the research into the opponent, so win percentage goes down a little bit, but it makes for a better Twitch feed. Nichols says, nice bluff. That's what I love about Pauper. Cool to see it in MTGO. That's right. Well, I guess maybe we can ask him, or if somebody knows him later on, if it did indeed work, but we'll see. So trying to think here. I'm just gonna go all out. I'm really afraid of these Delvers turning on here. It's funny how much respect the Silhanas get. Often I see them... This is tough. Now I should finish my sentence. Often I see Silhanas getting the respect like they can block flyers, but we all know that they can't, so I'm going to... we'll play it honest here, and then we're good to go. Maybe he doesn't have a counter, and he's just like... thinks we're just a twitching fool, but... Hey, anybody like the new... Last week you guys requested a new little card frame in this sort of thing, and new quote and blah blah blah, and I got a new little border off to the side and stuff, so let me know if you like this one more or less, better, who cares, whatever. It's all good. Patrician Scorn, Leave No Trace, Summoner's Growth, great ones for playing this deck. D, you're better man than me. Oh yeah, I don't, unless Hexproof's all over the place and it's in the top 3 or 4 of the listings, that kind of ultra hate I don't really run into that much. And as we can see here, like an Aura Flux or something right now, it's like, so a lot of times it doesn't come through. So yeah, it's interesting to see what he's going to do. I don't really like this matchup. It's really 50-50. As we all know, I love to play decks that just not just beat Delver, but like, punch them, knock them out, and then rub their face in salt, and then make them wake up, hit them with a hose filled with BBs. You get the point. I really like to take it to them, and this deck isn't that good at doing it. I find it plays pretty even with it, and I don't like that. That's why they got shots in the side and stuff. So interesting. All right, we're gonna pull the trigger here and see if he's got to have a hard counter here or just a snap. But we still got that one bluff forest. Maybe he's afraid we're trying to get rid of a fairy. I'm going to put a little pause here just so he thinks maybe. And then, oh no, my patience got the better of me there. Notice a new cool card. I like it, says Archenemy. Thank you. All right. Okay, well, it sounds like, yep. Speak of the devil. Knew it. Oh, well. Better walking into a counter spell there. Ooh, this bodes badly for us. If any of you have watched from the beginning of our Twitch feeds, one of the few times a lot of my builds go south with Delver builds is when they run Daze or Bone Splitter or a combination of the two. Just really, really makes for some very rough tempo games where I don't want to bring in Moment's Peace. I don't want to do a lot of things. So we guys just gotta hope he doesn't have the. Okay. Interesting. And we go for the win. Very curious he didn't counter that. Of course, logic being 4. Let's see. 2. That won't work. Life will only get us to 4. It's 4, 5, 6, 7. But it'll put us at 11, which will keep us alive. So I think the play here is actually to drop it on this and hope he doesn't have a counter. He probably does. Cruel counterspell, here it comes. Nichols in the queue. Let's see if you're right. Oh! I really think maybe our bluffs were working, and he was thinking that the spell stutter might be able to pull off whatever it is, but yeah, what was I thinking? Talk about doing math wrong. What on earth was, let's see, what was I at? 4? Oh yeah, duh. Maybe I need some more coffee. Well, this is good. At least it won't be a easy 2-0-2-0. We got to win the next 2. But we're already playing even money. We're 3-1 right now. And we're going to bring in all of our gut shots. Now, the question being, what else? I'm going to take out 1 Gnarlid, 1 Mask, 1 Commune, and curious, maybe bring out the no, I'd like to keep the journeys. I'd like to keep those. So I'm going to take out a Silhana. They're not that great against Delver. Little creature light, we've got to remember that going into the game, and we're off to game 2. If you're wondering why I lost Silhana, their whole deck blocks it, so it's just a very expensive boggle at that point. Yes, I would like to play first. Okay, we like these kind of hands a lot. We'll keep this. And I think we want to... We'll get our little aggro package out first. Gut shots, I just love this card. Such an MVP. I think the new Pyrexia, I think there's no loss of love with Little Fight and I with regards to the new Pyrexia. It's just breaks so many rules like the Time Spiral block did. And just fascinating game mechanics. Whenever you're in a pinch of like, oh, my colors can't do that or my deck can't do that, just look to those cards, because like this, it's like, I don't need no mana. I'll zap it. Good times. Or we'll go like this because we have the mana. I'm going to immediately throw this, stay out of Daze territory. We've got it backed up. Block into that. This always becomes a interesting question of what do you kill with the gut shot? Do you wait for the counter spell fairy bait, or do you just nab it early Delver, etc.? We'll see. And another card that you could have mentioned, Professor Dan is a Curfew, one that I love and nobody seems to play. Oh, this is getting better and better. We're liking this. If he's got a Daze, it don't matter, but he's got good taste in art. We like that. Let's choose a white. We'll go like this. Maybe go fetch some bait. Alrighty. Don't really need creatures in this matchup. We're going to kind of go for a Tron setup here. So maybe he has 1 hard counter and none others. So we'll go from here and just cast it next turn. He's got to have a hard counter, and that might add to the tempo too. Like he's wants to cast a Delver or the little book sprite, but he can't because he's kind of up against it here. So hopefully we can pull even 1-1. Oh, and he's screwed. So what you always like to see in that deck, right? Has he got a Daze? Is that why he kept a 1 land hand? Probably. A Null. Alright. Would have been so much nicer to have Curfew there. But for some reason, the bandwagon people don't like it. Alright. Hey, anybody have any good little quick war stories about Kaladesh? You go to the premiere, have some cool cards come up. Stuff you thought sucked and it ended up being awesome, whatnot. Let us know. Alrighty, I'm just going to do this now. Zap! Get out of my way, sucker. And let's see. Huh. Yeah. I'm going to gain life while I can. I really respect Delver, especially when they run things like Daze and Bone Splitters, and can't mess about. Trample's really important. We can bait this later, pretend we don't really have much, and be off to the races. Plus, it gets us past Spire Golem, which is about the only creature we really truly worry about. Okay, well, this is curious. Let's see. Pre-release was sweet, says Shirazman. Open 0 value, though. Bummer. Nichols says, going to the draft tonight. Any tips on the new set? Not from me. I'm as cheap as they come that way. I got nothing. Clueless. Can't can't remember the last like booster I bought. Like I said, I'm not very good for the game that way. Like I haven't spent any money on this game in a long time. I'm not trying to brag. It's just it's kind of the cheapness in me. I'm always trying to get the maximum value out of stuff. But I know it's great and it's fun to go back in Odyssey Block and Invasion. I played a lot. Like every week, go down and drop $10-15 a night, have some pizza, hang out with the boys and girls, have some good times. It's a lot of fun. Don't diss it at all. It's just my schedule and such, and producing the show and all kinds of other things called life coming to play. And before I know it, blink and it's time to Twitch again. So don't have much room to do all else. Let's see. Well, we got 2 minutes. Does anybody just have any questions about the sideboard plan that we got real quick? Let's see. Moss the Chops, thanks for joining us. We speak in all caps here, though, so it's a little hard to hear you, but I can squint and see out of 2 pre-release boxes and 4 packs to go, Nisa and 2 Chandras and Noxious Gearhulk. Nice. Why do I need such a long name? Says, what do you think about the boarding in the Pride Mage? Well, I don't like it because it's only a 1-for-1 against the Spire Golem. You could argue, well, they run Coral Net, but we're only running 3 Gnarlids. And if they're bringing in Coral Net against Hexproof, I like our odds. I'm not going to try to win the slow the deck down race against them with that. So, but thanks for the quick reply. Yeah, that's why we keep in the 2 journeys. Just good little insurance if our men don't get Arnold Schwartzified. We'll bring that in. My new vocabulary term from, I think I mentioned that in the first Hexproof video. Maybe it wasn't. It was something else. All right. We don't have the mana. We got the defense. We don't like this. Mulligan. Ugh. Well, we could play 3 things, and we've got defense. This is rough. My hunch is to throw this back. You know what? I'll let you guys decide. What do you want to do with this hand? Arch Naomi says, I got full Smuggler's Copter at the pre-release. I heard it's going to be a very good card. Nice. Copter's going to be very good in Standard Cicharazamon. Yes. Uh-oh. Yeah, I guess the bot's not quick enough to show up. I'm really tempted to throw this back, guys. Mole says, Lido, boy, if we don't have any white, we don't need it. We got 1, 2, 3 plays. Mole. All right. I'm on the fence. 2 say Mole. We're going to Mole again. Got a little worse, but all right. We're going to keep it now. JSig 1980, what's up? Thanks for joining us. Let's see. And we're on the draw. Yikes. We had to throw out our best card to just try to get some mana fixing. Let's see what we got. Oh, this is not looking good, guys. Hopefully our little hive mind experiment was a good one. We can go from there. I don't think he's going to buy many of our bluffs here anymore. Let's see if he's got a hard counter. So when we do like to see Selhana, hopefully he's sitting on a spell stutter sprite and he's like, not that I'm this old, but my friend used to send me these clips, and my wife made a really cool slip up. Ooh, we like this hand. Slip up 2 of Roscoe P. Coltrane from the 1970s, which is like when I was born, but too old for me. But Roscoe P. Coltrane, he's this character that has these little mannerisms. He's like, go, and he gets all mad at the Duke boys, and so sometimes I channel that. If you're wondering, I'm not having a seizure or anything. It's just one of the coolest things my wife gave me was a QuickTime video way back. It was just a collage of all his moments that was just totally outrageous, ridiculous, made me laugh for like hours on end. So, did you guys see Paul Cheon playing the format this week? Yes, we mentioned it a little bit last week. Got a little issues with the build and its artifact in the sideboard there. I don't mind the evoke creature for the artifact, but you got to throw in 2 Gorilla Shaman in there because outside of the 4/4, it gets a little ridiculous for that not to be a what am I trying to say? That just in defense of, oh boy, is this guy not playing Spell Stutter Sprites? All right, well, maybe we'll run into one here. Affinity, I mean, it's not the guys that kill you. It's a Tog and Fling. Everything else can just be blocked, and so that's why, like when we play Elves, it's always about the Hydra Blast. That's the key that really makes the deck go over the top and win games that it normally doesn't against it. So I'm talking too much. I got to really focus on this game and realize it's game 3. Either make money with this or we don't. So hopefully a spell stutter sprite comes through here. Nope. Well, that's good news. Hey, maybe you guys know what you're talking about with regards to this whole I think we have a case here of somebody that probably over sideboarded. J-Sig says, hey, little fight. And our mini's heading out. Double at the app. All right. What did I miss? Full recap. Go. Oh, man. Hold on. This is the last round. We're going to replay some stuff, and we'll give you that recap there. Thanks for joining us today. Professor Dandan says all about the stunts, in my opinion, and sliding across the hood and into the car window. Oh, yeah. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. I've seen a few. It's funny. You think so fondly of those shows, movies, whatever. And, guys, they just, like the other day, we were watching Empire Strikes Back, and I told my son, I'm like, yeah, you got to watch this. It's really good. The effects really hold up. And, man, that Tauntaun comes out, and it looks terrible. It was just the worst-looking thing. It looked just like it was just on crack cocaine mixed with caffeine and all kinds of stuff. I was just like, good lordy, that was a ugly-looking effect back then. I guess the screen hit a lot of stuff back then. Now, he's probably got that. Two's going to get me a 1. Well, I think we're going to... I value the cloak more than the mask at this point, so I'm gonna drop the mask right here. Probably eat a counterspell or an annul, because this will win us the game. This not so much, and I think we might be right on that over sideboarding thing here. Now, I don't really want to do much here. I want to act like we don't have the gut shot, because if he does come at us with the ninja, I like the play. He's got the 2, he's got the 1. Yeah. If you had Delvereed play it, we'll hit him up. Play a little aggro here. I never played this long with Hexproof just to try to get something out here. Elf, Boss Hog, best final boss ever, says, yes, I like this guy. Good times. But the rest of the film is cool. Indeed it is. Yeah, and it does definitely hold up. It's good stuff. I'm putting this guy on a bunch of bounce spells. He's probably waiting for my Gnarlid to come on board, and I don't want to have none of it. So let's see. We'll fake like we're see if he's got the sprite. Nope. Well, okay. Maybe we'll throw some red in there just to scare him a little bit. Be like, hey, check this out. I added red. I'm gonna let you think about it for just a beat, and then I'm gonna do other stuff. I'll go like this. See if it sticks. Probably not, because I think this guy's playing 19 annuls. And power to him. It seems to be working. We shall see. Dun, dun, dun. And I think a lot of those cards in his hand are islands. Or the other 27 annuls he's somehow cheated into the format. Wink, wink. Alright. Got shot rewarded so far. We'll see. It'd be nice to maybe slow draw into a land and then drop Gnarlid, wait for a counter, and then use the Journey or something. But all of a sudden, it's not looking so good. I like that he attacks. This is good times. Boy, what do you put him on? A third and all? Fourth, maybe? This is one I really like, Crumbling Vestige, because you can enchant it and make it pay dividends later on in the game. Alright, well, this isn't a... I'm going to play for value here and just attack. Hopefully, I mean, if he's optimally, if he double blocks and has a Vapor Snag, I'm toast. But a little bit of a race here, and just don't know what I put him on. He had to make room for those annuls somewhere. Did he take out the bounce, thinking I took out the Gnarlids? That's what I love about this game. I was just playing chess the other night with one of my Russian buddies from work. I love it because when you beat him, he swears in Russian, and so it sounds really legit. But every time I play that game, it's a great game, but it's so stagnant compared to this game we all love, Magic. I mean, this is just the coup de grace game. Oh, here we go. Tempo of the turn. Please recast it. I tried to explain to him, I'm like, imagine that, like, here's the chessboard. Okay, you can play either side. That's cool. And then, hey, every other week I'm going to be able to change this piece for maybe one over here, and then I can go like this with other pieces. And so it completely takes the book out of the equation. I always loved that about the game. All right, he's got to have a vapor snag here. We're just going to see what we can draw here. Hopefully something good. See, catch up real quick. Cut shot rewarded. Let me cloak you a picture, says Professor Dan. Sorry, there's some delay between my comments and when you see them. Yeah, well, it's my fault. I'm really the delay here. I think we're just going to walk into a snag here. If not, maybe he doesn't know the rule. I run into that a lot. A lot of people, whether it's Pit Sulk or the Gnarlid, they just don't get that. I'm going to drop our little man here. It might come down to free-for-all swing, and lives are getting close enough here. We shall see. Yeah, one of these, maybe in the next coming weeks or something, I'll find that Roscoe Pico train. It's just a wave file, and maybe make some magic card promo out of it, like the Kung Fu one we did last week. I don't know if anybody saw that on YouTube or if you weren't here for it, but it's pretty fun times. Oh, we'll trade any day in this scenario. Let's see. Well, these aren't doing nothing here, and I don't want you to do much there. Take that. I'll get rid of your Delver. Stop you from drawing. Not like I'm going to walk through that Golem. Let's see. Ooh, the hard-casted ninja comes out to play. All right. I want to hold this land back, just making them think, hey, we got the goods. We got this massive, awesome spell. You got no business near it. I'm really liking his board position here. I mean, he doesn't know that we're sitting on a forest. Maybe he does. Maybe he's watching. But I really sense a vapor snag end of turn here because that'll pretty much win him the game. So I'm going to act like maybe I've got a Pyroblast that I'm considering using. Think about it a little bit more. When you're brewing and you have two cards that are really equal, it's total side note, and you have anything that can interact. What I mean by that is you click on it and it does that little shing sound like, do you want to do this or that? It's a great thing to have because it really helps sell bluffs if you have something in the sideboard like a Moment's Peace, and I clicked on it and there's that interface switch where it's more than just a bluff. It's like, oh wait, he has something other than a land there, and oftentimes it doesn't show you or highlight the graveyard. Ooh, we don't like this. Go look for some answers to beat our heads in with. Dun, da, 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 da. Yeah, we'll just keep getting better at this whole Twitch thing with the community. Best community out there. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We're far from over. We're going to replay rounds 1, 2, and 3. And let's see. Yeah, you got to keep that guy back. Ooh, boy, he's coming for it. Got to play to the outs here. 2, 4, 6, 7. I can't block any of this stuff. Let's see what he's got. Okay. Still can't block. Boy. Pretty hard to win through this. That was like drawing 6 cards between the Ponder and the Triple Ninjas. Good for him. It's good stuff. Arch Enemy, welcome back. This is looking grim. He just drew the equivalent of 6 cards, so if he has any bounce, we're pretty much finished. Oh, but he doesn't. I think there we have a case of over sideboarding, and we went darn this thing. So we went 4-1 with Hexproof. The only loss was to Elves, which we beat, and I'm going to show you guys that real quickly here. Just so we're going to come back to all this. Stick with us. We're far from over. Here's the deck we were playing for those of you that joined us a little bit late. Kind of a pattern here. Play a good deck, do 4-1 or better. Who would have thought? Anyway, we've got 19 lands. I used to run 17, then I went to 18, then I went to 19. I really like 2 Crumbling Vestiges just because you can enchant them with the growth. That being said, Blossoming Sands gains us the life. We got the life gain here. I only run 2 masks. Reason being, as we just noted, there's a lot of times in this deck when you have like the sand draw with just maybe one of these. A lot of times Ancestral Mask is only good late and when you just really have it in spades. And so Commune with the Gods as a 2 of here acts as 3 and 4. And so you don't see it, doesn't clog your hand early. So many times you're looking at it like we did, what was it, just last game. And you're like, I don't want to play this now. I'm using it as counterbait sometimes. Whereas this Commune with the Gods acts as like, Journey to Nowhere 3 and 4, or pretty much everything, or 5 and 6 for the case of Armadillo Cloak. So it's all pretty standard fare here. I only run 3 Rancors between the Cloak, the Evasion, and the creatures. I often notice, yes, there's that obvious play of boom, I've got this, and then the Boggle comes out, and I'm going to Ethereal Armor and Rancor. That's great, and that still happens a lot, but Rancor doesn't win you the game. Armadillo Cloak does. In our sideboard, we've got, which we just saw, our Anti-Delver Hate, and especially for Standard Bearers, and just about every other creature that is awesome in Pauper, this deals with it pretty nicely. Quasar Pride Mage is my Electrickery tech, in that bait scenario where we're trying to, do you have it? Do you have it? We're going forward. You attack with maybe a 3-1 Boggle, and all of a sudden it becomes a 4-2. Then you enchant it, end of turn. You do lose a little bit of tempo, but you keep your critter, and the person sitting there doing a Roscoe Pico train. I almost had the damn Duke Boys or Hex Boys. Hey, Hex Boys. Maybe we can make a new song, right? Little fight. Yeah, we got 3 moments pieces. We will see shine in green matchups when it's just kind of like, I hit you really hard. You hit me really hard. I hit you really hard. You're almost dead. I got out of the way. Now it's a completely out of the realms of possibility fight, and then the flashback just rubs salt in the wound. And our Macabre, which didn't show up at all. I mean, we could have had a 11 card sideboard, actually could have had a 9 card sideboard in this tournament to go 4-1 with it. Anyway, so I'm going to jump right over to that. Let me catch up on the comments real quick, see if you guys have any questions while we're on this screen. 4-1's nice. Gotta go, though. See y'all. Since why do you need such a long name? As I stammer on it. Gain lands are great, and bounce lands are too, says Professor Dan. Yes. The only problem I see with the Karoo lands, I think they're called, that bounce lands a lot more see and say, is with the capsized decks and such like that. It does feel awful when those things go up in smoke and the like. So thank you, Arch Enemy. 4-1's all right. We like 5-0s when we're playing something as serious as Hexproof, but we'll take it. Shirazamon says, "See you next time." Oh no! Oh, I thought you were going too. I guess Why Do They Need Such Long Names is the only one heading out. So anyway, let's head off. Get this part of the thing over with, and I can show you. If you guys want, I can show you all the matches, or I mean, we can just go through them here. If it's getting boring or whatnot, I'm going to try to narrate here. We keep this hand of nothingness, and it almost bites us in the butt. I've really noticed in a lot of my notes that when I lose the game, it's when it's just all green with some creatures and I don't have access to white. So we see we're going against Hexproof, and they're off to the races running a Metamorphosis build. And believe it or not, we do win this one. I was feeling quite the fool at this point. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm at 9, 10. Wait, no, we don't win this one. What was I talking about? I was like, God, how did I pull this off? Go back. That was round 1. Gosh, you've got to get a better way to do this Magic Online here. Let's see. Tournaments. My goodness, I got to go all the way back through this stuff. 4 clicks to go right back to where we were. Sorry about that, guys, but it's not my fault. Match 1. So we just got run over there. Round 2. We played both games. There must just be some. Oh, scroll down. Here we go. Okay. Here's the second game. Sorry about that. Little senior moment there. Sorry. And we're up. True Karoos are soft and capsize weak, says Professor Dan. Cards that are really relevant to the format. Nichols says, got to get back to work. I'll see you all next week. Oh, thank you, Nichols. Good to see you. We got lots to cover, man. Don't be running away, guys. We're going to be our Ween decks and a lot more discussion coming up here. So as we can see, our opponent comes out with, for some reason, It's an interesting theory. He's bringing in young wolves to do a lot of trading and such. But right there, it was like, well, fine, I'll let you lose your ethereal armor and take a bit of damage. I'm fine with that. We have probably the most enchanted land in all of Magic history. This is a Rainbow Forest. Destroy target canopy. Add any mana you want. Looking really ridiculous. It's got a 10-10, a 4, and, but we've got our friend. That's what I'm talking about. Here comes Mike Tyson, and, we've got some really good defense plans. So we take it. We're at 9. We drop our little dork. About to submit. No. Here comes Moment's Peace. Good to go. He drops the Abundant Growth, and we're off to the races. I've got to sit back. Not the best draw. Got to stay alive. Here it is. And he comes forward again. Now we'll drop this because we can block. And I forgot to drop the Sansa. Big mistake. We trade Gnarlids. Now I drop it. Now I've got a 1919 Hexproof. He comes at me. It's all good. We are at 2 life. Let me slow the pace down here a little bit so we feel a little bit of the gravitas. Then again, says Professor Dan, you see all of the Drake decks running Izzet Boilerworks, so maybe there are some decks that can run Karoo, and some that can't. And Professor, we just obliterated Drake decks with, unfortunately, the recording got deleted, but I think we went 4-1 or 3-2 with a green land destruction deck, which I'll probably play pretty soon again. I really like playing it, and nobody likes to play it in the tournament room, so you almost have to play it in a tournament. But hunting lands is great, but you run into those Quirion Rangers, and it's ugly. So anyway, we've got a 21-21 against a 3-1, and enchantments up the wazoo. Let's see where this goes. We've got our unblockable flyer, 3-on-3. We're at 2 life. He's at 20. Not looking so good. We enchant the heck out of stuff. We bring it through. I'm just trying to gain some life here. He fogs. Looking grim. Now this is when it would have been nice to throw in let me pause it real quick. When we do run the Commune with the Gods, a lot of times you turn over a great enchantment you want, and then you shove Moment's Peace in the graveyard, and you've got it's kind of a 2-for-1. It acts as almost like pieces to the puzzle in green. Just a little out loud thinking if you guys are curious. Up the wazoo, says Shirazaman. And Jay said, the guy was playing weird mono-red land destruction deck in a league. Yeah, that's right. I think that was one of our losses was to that guy. It's just like, oh, come on. I'm enchanting my lands, and I run up against probably the one other deck that's doing the same sort of strategy. But that's what you got to love about the game. So now tides are turning a little bit. We're a little worried about the fog, if you're wondering why I'm not going all out. We're just... Again, those little biding time moments. Good to go. Okay. All right. I guess pause. There's no stop. Every time I do this, though, I've got to go hunt back down. Oh, nope. There it is again. Okay. And we win the next one. I'm not going to play that one because it's more of the same. We've already seen 2 matches like that. So up next, we've got a really fun, I think it was Elves matchup. If you guys do want to see that, yell at me. Be like, oh, I want to see that replay. It's pretty much the same game again. So Blossoming Sands comes out. Don't know what we're playing against. And it's Elves. It's pretty rare unless... I was a little worried that might be land destruction. Some builds, power out the Elves first. I had one that LSV mentioned a while back that had some good times. And I'm happy to trade Elves for Elves there, knowing that I'm going against Elves because their Elf count counts and ours doesn't. And so an Elf Scout, if I can kind of tailor there... Let's slow this down a little bit. It's the only problem with the replays. We nabbed the beautiful new Timberwatch Elf artwork with the Journey to Nowhere. The reason I traded early, we have the creature that wins the game, and I know elves only get better with more elves on the battlefield. So not only do I want this guy to die, I want his guy to die, so that's why I traded. He's at 3. All of a sudden, elves is looking oddly flooded, which I know better than most. That happens to elves a lot. Come in with 11, and this one's over. So we go off to game 2. Let me... This one was a lot more competitive, so we'll watch this loss here, because losses you learn a lot more from, I find anyway. Elves, ugh, that new Timberwatch is sexy, says Little Fight. I agree, man. That is just, whew. I felt so bad when I did the When did I run with elves? I think it was 5-0 when I showed it up. But then I was sitting there like in round 3 on Twitch, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't have the new artwork in yet. I have the card, I just didn't go through and make all the adjustments. So same play as last time. We snagged the Timber Watch, and we hope for the best because we don't got a creature here. And as y'all know, I'm just gonna let this one go crazy because this is the one we lost. Got a nice 5/5, but it's all for looks. It's just kind of like saying, hey, stay back. I don't want to get attacked for a few turns. Maybe I can draw something that'll matter. Art and Enemy says, new art is beautiful. Yes, I have a fixation with all good art. And I really wish they would just... There's so many artists out there. I'm sure everybody out there knows of 3 or 4 of them personally that are just can draw or paint awesomely. And it's maddening when you get those kind of monopolies on stuff. I mean, you can have the classics, but it'd be kind of cool if they came out with a set with, I don't know, choose your own artist, something like that. Give people options. We're going to shrink this down. Sorry. Trying to get this a little bit better. And Wirewood Pride ends it. For those of you that don't know, one of my old buddies, Turbo Kitty 3000. Yes, he did create... Boros Kitty and all the iterations that came from that. When we were designing elves together, this is one that he always fought for, and I've played it a few times. Just different metagames call for it when you're kind of going for that alpha strike mentality, which elves usually is. But oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to kill the screen altogether. And we'll go back into this match 2, and then we have the tiebreaker, which we all know and love that we won. Out of pure skill and awesomeness. From yours truly. Just kidding. Here we go. Alright, so we are off. Oh, yeah, I almost did it again. It's a running joke here on Twitch. The Lexicon falling for replay buttons off to the side. Do you want to play first? I'm like, yes. Oops, wait. It's just a replay. So this is the only elf that we keep in. I should be discussing this. Our sideboard, I take out all my... the scouts, because like we were saying, elves just count. Elves trigger this beast, and so it's it's strange. They gave that bird almost looks like a mana bird, like it's got blue, white, and red, and then you add the green to it, and then the shadows. It's almost like a prismatic owl on this guy's shoulder. But anyway, enough about the art. So we've got a double life gaining good times. This is just the battle for life. Now this is that game I was mentioning about 3 games ago. This is where Gleeful Sabotage actually made a bit of a difference in the game, but as you can see, even that just back-breaking play, just not a fan of that card. It's just too defensive in nature. I just gain more life. Find a way to block it. Dude, I don't know. Argue with it. I mean, it is a 2-for-1, and if any deck's going to be able to abuse it with the Conspire mechanic, it is elves. So we go get our goods. Good times. And he keeps pumping up. Now, I know playing elves a lot that the problem is, yeah, you've got this awesome army, and you're able to gain life, but each time you do it, you're having to throw stuff back. Forests, mind you. And so at this stage, the Quirion Ranger, I'm almost trying to gut him to where he's only got the 1 land, and we can arrive at that kind of nexus point. Game 3 is always the exciting one, says Shirazaman. Yes. Professor Dan says, D, did you see some of the Cardsmith cards that have come out featuring Donald Trump? I have not. I'm about as what's the word, apathetic as you can get with regards to anything on Facebook. It's just, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. I'm a libertarian at heart, and I hate everybody that's running in America, and I don't really think it matters all that much, but who knows? But don't get me started, because I don't really know much about what I'm talking about. And we're here to discuss Magic, but I guess that is a little bit Magic related being that way. 44-12. We've got the lands going. We've got his life hindered. The Well-Wisher's dead. And 44-12. Our little 29-29 Silhana. I don't know what kind of ledge is going to be able to hold up that sort of weight, but it seemed to have worked. So, and we are going to the last one. And again, don't go anywhere, because we have lots to discuss with regards to our cool contest. Actually, contest is the wrong sort of word. That denotes that we're giving a prize away. I guess the only prize is that we'll play it live here and everybody can chime in and giggle about our decisions there. But we're going to showcase about 3 or 4 decks for y'all. Vote on which ones we like. There's another Elves matchup, so I probably won't play all 3 of them here. You get kind of a good idea. This is the one we lose to, if I'm not mistaken. Really close one. You know what? Real quickly, I'm going to kill this one because I do know we do lose this one. I'm going to go back to the... And I'm just going to play yeah, this is the one game. So, let's see. We beat Delver. We beat... Oh, gosh, what was that? Hexproof. We lost to Elves. We beat Elves, and we beat... What was the first game? Boggles. So, I'm going to show you the tie-breaking loss that... is that even a word? So that we just saw Elves, so I don't want to bore you guys with just like it's another cluttered battlefield. Here we go. So this is the only game we lose. Deciding matchup. Keep it. We've got a nice draw here. We've got unblockable Elves. We've got gut shot for Quirion Rangers or the Well Wishers, whatever one. Sometimes if Birch Lord's really screwed, you want to nab that quickly, but oftentimes that backfires. So. J6 says, I love when a game goes into caveman mode. As do I. Let's see. So we've got our nice unblock. I'm feeling pretty good here. I remember feeling this. I was like, all right, we're a cloak away from some good times. It's nice to... You're always wondering, like, and that double Birch Lord came down. I was really tempted to take out the first one. The second one puts it out of the question. And I'm not quite sure. I hope I don't. If memory serves, gut shot the priest. I do. I don't know if I like that play with double Birch Lords out, one card in hand. Yeah, it could get pretty crazy. There's nothing else out there. I mean, I would much rather hit the Quirion Ranger. Just a little bit of impatience on my part there. Definitely a misplay. If I would have kept it, let's see what would have happened. I would have had it for the Quirion Ranger. A little slow on this end of it. Elves only help him here. We don't have that big of a hitter. Ooh, out comes Timberwatch. And now we'd be at 9 life, but the Quirion Ranger would be dead. But so would we. So the Timberwatch would still kill us here. Yeah, we just don't have it. And I asked him in the comments, are you playing my elf build? Not in sort of an egocentric way, but he said something that let me know that he was a propaganda fan. And he was, so we lost to ourselves. Good times. Anyway, so that's enough for Hexproof and all things green. It's time to get Halloween on you guys. Now I am all yours. We're going to run right over here and go. I think I sorted them by ween. Let's see. Yep. Sometimes so Enrique showed this in. And I don't know, did anybody speak up and said that they were Enrique in the comments here? I don't know, maybe he's just a YouTube follower, but he filled all the requirements of the zombie, the horror, the imp, the swamp, and the skeleton. And like I said earlier, this deck is dripping with flavor. Let me bring up since we don't really have to worry about waiting for opponents and stuff, we'll bring up a nice big old fat. I hate this new little press this to do this. It's like, I don't want to see that. I know that. Okay. Sanitarium Skeleton. Good artwork. We're good. And anyway, we discussed the deck already. So this is a great flavor entry, and I love it. Love them for doing it. It's just, like I said, it's like a John Carpenter movie. We've got Gruesome Deformity, which enchants creatures with it, gives them Intimidate. Raven's Crime. I mean, what horror movie doesn't have good ravens in it? And if you haven't seen The Exorcist on Fox, speaking as a true horror fan, it's right up there with Stranger Things. There's only been one episode, and it is awesome. So if you like scary stuff, check out The Exorcist on Fox. I was really surprised that they pulled it off. Cloak of Confusion is one of my favorite cards of just sneaky tech. I used to try to fit this into a lot of builds. It enchants a creature you control. When it attacks, they discard a card at random for no damage. Surging Dementia, we got a little nastiness in there. Fright always triggers that. Read the Bones, a little Witch Doctor. Putrescence, fill with Fright, discard 2 cards, and Mental Agony. So this one definitely takes the cake in the flavor realm. However, I don't know if I want to put my tickets behind this. Ween Deluxe is mine. We'll save that one for last. Not to say that it's the best one, but I just want to culminate with that one. Next up is Kinwaku. He brought in a more traditional Golgari build. Let me make sure Gleeful Sabotage out of the board from the opponent was MVP, says Professor Dan. Yes, I agree. In that scenario it was, but if you'll remember, it didn't win him the game. And that's always been my problem with that card. It's just a little too defensive. Rather be the problem. It's really all out. Thanks for the heads up. Innistrad blocks are great for season-themed decks. Indeed they are. So what we have here is our zombie count in this deck are the 2 zombies here and the 2 zombies here. Pretty darn good package there. We got probably the best imp in the game. We got some rats to throw some back. Who doesn't like a good boar beast? We've got Arrogant Worm. We got the Brown Scale. Nothing too groundbreaking. I mean, this is a Tortured Existence deck after all, and probably what we've seen with our entrances so far is Augur of Skulls. Really one of the best value creatures you can get out of a skeleton. It can be, it's in the trinket decks, is in tier 1.5ish. And then our horror spot is the awesome Fume Spitter, one of the best 1-drops in the game. Just love it. Pauper says, I just made a GB Troll Tribal deck, basically entirely from a free bot for some rankers in for it, though. Good times. And the land count figures it out. And our sideboard, he's got Choking Sands, Edicts, Wicker Whirl, and Knot of the Bone. So it's all pretty good stuff. That's Kenwaku. Maybe make a little note if you like that one. Definitely probably one of the more competitive ones. I would think this is probably a little bit better than mine as far as if I had to win. And, it was like, oh man, this is my last few tickets or whatever. And we're not saying these decks are going to be even tier 2, but I'm going to play one of them with regards to what we're doing here. If you guys joined us late, we're going over Halloween themed decks that we had on Propaganda. We're going to had a criteria of horrors, 4 swamps, 4 zombies, 4 imps, 4 skeletons, and whatever else fun you have. So Nichols in the house, or wait, did Nichols leave? I think he's the one that left. So I can't keep all this stuff straight. He's up next. Same sort of deal. We've got I believe it's a Tortured Existence deck. Let me do it by mana cost here. No, it isn't. I apologize. So he's got the Flare Husk, Chatter of the Squirrel with the flashback bonus. David Schaefer ran that back in the early days of Green One. Arch Enemy says, I think this is my favorite. Just for clarity, and I know what you mean, because you couldn't have written that fast, Arch Enemy. Just write, if you like that last one, that was Kenwaku. So just maybe type their name. It's just write maybe Ken or Waku or something, so that we can kind of keep a tally of what you guys like. Yeah. So, Nichols had to go, but this is Nichols' deck. And so we still haven't come up with a theme. We've got 4 swamps. They're on matching, though. I don't got a little negative check mark there, right? Episode 1 love. We've got Undying Evil, very thematic and a good card. Disfigure, who doesn't get disfigured in horror movies. Augur of Skulls comes in at the skeleton spot. We've got the Edict, which we're very glad we didn't run into in this tournament. Let's see, you should require a zombie frog beast. Yeah, well, maybe next year, darn it. We kind of made this contest up on the fly. October's coming up. Heck, it's tomorrow, so happy early October. Night's Whisper comes in with a 3-spot. Skittering Scourge is our imp of choice in this one. So he's running 16 creatures with the Scourge. I'm not quite sure. I think it's kind of a Delver logic where you sit back, maybe get it early, and then you just kill, and you go for broke from that way. Got our Putrid Leech as our zombie spot. Our fellow entry into the Church of Marasa. We all love that card. And we got the 3rd one here, so definite nods on that. This will have staying power. And our horrors are filled up here. However, he does have 4. Okay, I was going to say, boy, I don't know. He's really tempting my nerves here with 3 different artworks on 4 cards. It's almost like Little Fight told him to do that to get under my skin. I won't comment. Anyway, Duress in the sideboard. Very Macabre. We've got the 1 Marasa Natural State, the new destroy an artifact or enchantment with mana 3 or less. And the life stacks cleared up. So that's our 3rd entry. Last is mine. Wretched Onurid. Yes, that's a good card, but in a very creature-heavy format, that could get pretty pricey. Last is mine. I just call it Wing Deluxe because my name's too long to call it much else. What I opted to do here, I would like to think, not trying to sound egocentric here, that this was a pretty interesting take on it. Our zombie spot is the Toxic Nym with Infect. Our horror spot is 1 Throat Seeker, which it has Infect 2. It is a 6-drop, and it can't attack unless the player's poisoned, so we only run one of those. And our other horror spot is the 3 Plague Stingers. So we've got 4 of those. Our Imp of Choice, the Imp, got that, and our Skeleton of Choice, the Augur of Skulls. This is an Exhumed deck. We have this, We have Muddle of the Mixture, which is able to go find Exhume, go find the Skulls, go find the Plague Stinger early on, and also our Pieces of the Puzzle, which is a card I'm just in love with. I'm able to go find an Exhume often and a Muddle of Mixture, put those in my hand. Maybe I throw out this, and this as the drawback of Pieces of the Puzzle, and then the next turn you Exhume, they counter, you run at them with a hasted 5/5 Infect. Our setup for it preordains Careful Study, and when we're throwing all that stuff in the graveyard, we have 2 Artful Dodges, which play like having 4 because oftentimes they're turned over in the graveyard. So we got 2 Bogs to prevent any sort of shenanigans, 2 Aqueducts to kind of reset them, acting as kind of 3 and 4, some Backwaters to keep us alive, and I'm pretty happy with the mana here. I've been having a lot of fun with this deck. In our Putrid Imp is the best imp. It says Putrid Imp. Says Professor Dan. Yes, we have Duresses because that first turn, what do you got? We're trying to get you with 1 critter. Very paramount in a lot of matchups. Got Ghastly Demise because our graveyard's filling up like crazy. Edict for any sort of shenanigans with Hexproof. And I played probably 10 games with this. I lost 4, and all 4 were green decks, and it was early on in the build. So what I ended up doing was opting for my zombie in the sideboard, and it's another zombie, but is our protection from green zombie Outlander. If you like this kind of tech, there's the Volan zombie is another one, does the exact same thing. You can actually run 8 of these, but this really holds Stompy mostly in its tracks and gives you that time to just really go for the throat, fly over them with the Stinger, or come at them with a Toxic Nim with haste that regenerates and sometimes can be unblockable. So anyway, guys, those are our decks. If you want to maybe just send us a email at pauperganda@gmail.com, or if you guys want to discuss here, it's a little weird not being able to hear people chime in on stuff, what you like, what you dislike. Maybe we can get a little bit of a give and go happening that way with regards to, I know what I'll do. I'll go on Facebook, at the Propaganda Facebook page, and I'll post the 3 pictures. And then in the comments, maybe the like count can be the probability that we'll play it. And then in the comments, maybe you sleeve it up, you try it out, see what's going on. If you like it, whatever. Maybe you have, hey, Deluxe Gob, I don't like Pieces of the Puzzle, I like this card. Or, hey, why not 3 Dragon's Breath, which is a very valid point, and such. And so over the next week or 2, we'll get it down. And then maybe before our Halloween show, we'll be playing one of these, a version of it, blah, 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 stuff like that. So Little Fight says, shall we push it out another week? Oh, yeah, we're going to definitely, this is probably maybe the week before Halloween or 2 weeks. So we got 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks before this is actually, I put up money and we see this thing more than likely crash or burn, but we'll see. It'll be a lot of fun. In these kind of rogue outings, I always give a little bit of a nod to the crazy ones. We got Ken Waku's definitely seems to be the one that has the most staying power in a traditional kind of shell of tortured existence. Enrique's would be pretty much, I'd be happy to, no offense to him, I mean, he's going all flavor here, but be very happy to win 1 game with it and go 1-4, but it would be pretty fun. And sometimes there's those games too where you're like, yeah, screw it, I'm just gonna, sorry for the noise in the background, you're like, you got that attitude of just screw it, I'm just gonna go out there, and you're playing so rogue and so weird that your opponent's just just visibly like this, and you just, you got them on their heels, and they maybe make a few mistakes with assumptions and such like that. So it might be fun either way, but I'm pulling for either Ken's or myself or Nichols. I really like just the flavor text of this one. I mean, there's a lot of cards I actually had to look and say, like, what's that do? But anyway, guys, so I'll be playing most of the rest of the day on and off and stuff. Professor Dan says these decks need more tricks and treats, more candy too. Good way to say. Yeah, maybe we should have some. When it's all said and done, we should have some foils in there, so it could be kind of like the wrapper candy, or I don't know. Probably getting a little too meta that way, guys. But again, if you got any questions, concern, comments, ideas, funny skits, or if you want to send cool little pictures out, like with oh gosh. I'm forgetting who sent it. The picture of the Merit building or the Veridon building before. Little wink wink jokes about the Pauper metagame or the cards we all know and love, send them to us, pauperganda@gmail.com. We got lots of good stuff. Always get back to you, the give and go of the community, but we'll have all that stuff up on Facebook. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We went 4-1 with Hexproof. This will be up on YouTube in a little bit. And with that, I'm Deluxecoff, my partner Little Fight. Thanks, Shiraz, for joining us, everybody else, and we will see you next time. Propaganda.
Clogged pipes and plugged up toilets can bring a busy family to its knees. At Stinkweed, we know and understand you and your family just don't have time for that. Stinkweed, fast, professional plumbing you can count on. Call 2 in a Black, DREDGE5. That's 2 in a Black, DREDGE5.
I was brought to my knees when stinkweed dredged my pipes.
This program, Germs, is discussed in Chapter 622 of your textbook, which accompanies this series. Germs. Germs, germs, germs. Everywhere, germs. Dirty, filthy germs. But where do they come from? Germs originated in Germany before rapidly spreading throughout the rest of the world. They're basically a form of malevolent bacteria with one purpose: to spread germs.